with the Native American Indians. The American Indians today are experiencing reservation life based upon the philosophy of white supremacy. I want to bring to the consciousness of the black people, especially those who are in the Caribbean, who think that the experience of the black man in America was a little joke. It's the most serious type of oppression that black people reach or experience was in North America. Was in North America, there is nowhere to run. There is no escape, unlike places like Jamaica, where you could escape to the hills and hold a meditation. On the North American states, there is no escape. And so we're going to look into the birth of apartheid. The birth of apartheid in the southern states of America. I want to look into its trajectory and see if in 2015, what it really means for Obama as a black man to be in the White House. What does it really mean that the police forces can now take an upper hand in those same states of North America where racism is rife, but nobody calls it apartheid. Yes, Metamorphosis, going into the segment now that we call I Word, Sound and Power. Dealing with identity, dealing with language, and how these are used to maintain that deception in the meditation of the people. Even the book that they give us to read, the Christian Bible, in the very first story, it's all about deception. Yeah, deception. And so apparently illusions are created and African people seem to just digest them and live them out. Stories. Who are I and I? Who is I? Who are we as a people? Both the black man in North America, black man in this region called the Caribbean. Some information has been given to us that makes us feel that within our identities, we are different. And there's a constant impression being promoted that one set of black people are better than the other set. And that the black man in America is being described by the white man to the black man in the Caribbean as lazy. And the Caribbean black man accept that description and begins to feel a sense of superiority now to the black man in America because the white man tells him that he is more industrious. And in that psychology of being more industrious now, it is the Caribbean black people who go into North America and work 3 jobs and work 26 hours a day out of a 24-hour day. And burn out working, contributing labor into the labor economy. And within that framework now, the black man in America now look at these black men coming, people from the Caribbean, and saying, people are greedy. People taking 2 and 3 jobs. And so the divide is created between black man in North America and the black man in the Caribbean. But the black man in the Caribbean is a little bit further out in misunderstanding because the knowledge of the black man in America is not taught in the Caribbean. In other words, black American history, as they call it, is not taught in the Caribbean. And in not knowing the history of the black man in America, it creates even greater problems in interpreting why and how the black man behaved in America. Because if you ask a fundamental question as to who built America, who built America, and whose sweat and blood and brawn were those cotton industries and hemp industries built, is the black man in America, not the black man in the Caribbean, who don't know anything much about that experience, nor of direct racism, nor of the slave laws and slave codes. So we need to take a step sideways and reflect on the situation of black people in this, what I'm calling now, diaspora. And the people in the Caribbean now have to recognize that this division cannot be sustained. Because the black man in America has an experience that is invaluable. And it's imperative that I and I know his story. Because it is in his land that all the people them are attracted to go. Everybody want to go to America. When I say everybody, you know what I mean. People think that America is the land of the brave and the home of the free. Or is the land of the free and the home of the brave. It's really the land of the free white man. And it's the home of the brave black people. It used to be the home of the braves, the Indians. But through the extermination policy and racial genocide, let us call it apartheid, the Indians have been limited and restricted. The philosophy of segregation by race, something that was being practiced by the Europeans who came into North America. But in this segment here, before we get into the essence of apartheid in America, there's a language thing I want to bring up. A way in how, besides being divided by being Caribbean and American, there is this notion about aboriginals, aborigines, A-B-O-R-I-G-I-N-A-L, or A-B-O-R-I-G-I-N-E-S. Now, in studying the language and how them describe black people, We are called they describe black people in certain places of the world as aboriginals. But the more I look at the word, the more I realize that something is fundamentally wrong with that identity. Because in the English language now, we know about root words, and we know about prefixes, and we know about suffixes. Prefix is the word we add to the front of the root word, change the meaning. Likewise, when we add a suffix to the root word, it changes the meaning. Now, the root word that I want to look at is use, U-S-E. And the prefix I want to put in front of it is AB. So it creates a word called abuse. There's also normal as a root word. And if we put AB in front of normal, we get abnormal. So you get the impression that AB means not. It's negative, it's not good. Abuse, abnormal. When I look into the world now and I see them calling black people aboriginals, aborigines, that's how they change the sound, aborigines. And I'm saying to myself, ab-original. Are they saying that these people are not original? How can the black man anywhere in the world be called an ab-original? And who is calling the original man ab-original? Language. Yeah, we have to liberate our meditation from these labels that identify us outside of ourselves. Caribbean, American, aboriginal. Tid, rough. So on the plantation, on that slave labor camp in North America, the labor force that was brought in from Africa, the continent. So who were these black people? Because we were all lumped up under this identity called African. But where these people were coming from, they weren't necessarily identified as Africans. They were Hausa, Akan, Mandingo, Ibu. So in other words now, on the continent, we had our nations. and the nations of those black people, which was really their identity, not African, but black people. Africa, again, was a term applied to the continent by the Romans, because Afri really means black in their language. And all they're trying to describe is the blackness of the people. So the people who were brought into North America, who were called Africans, that was a deception.